beautiful Cancer. It has been so long, but I am here to give you your October reading this month and also in the oncoming months. Okay, so I'm back. Please share the word with your friends. I've been taking some time off, even though I have been working on a daily basis with doing readings for so many of you. But I've had so many requests like, when are you going to get back and do the online readings? So that's what we're going to be doing. And what I have for you here, it's a new setup. Okay, so I'm doing this through new software. I'm going to be sharing my screen with you. So please forgive if there's a blooper here or there. Just getting used to this new software, but I think it's pretty cool because now you can pay attention to what is going on in your chart. So let me start that by bringing you up. We're going to share a screen here, and this is you right there. And what I am going to do right now is to bring this screen up a little larger. There we go, so that you can see me as we are talking. Okay, so what I am liking about this is that we can, oh, let me see, annotate. Give me one moment. Annotations, come on, where did it go? Gotta have the annotations. There we go. Okay, and why is that? Well, I'm going to put little arrows here so you can pay attention to what we're talking about. And we're starting off here, Cancer, with the sun, which is the I am energy. That is you, Cancerian. And this month here of October, you will see it is here in your fourth house. And the fourth house is family. And of course, it's also the area of your chart that you rule, right? And we know just for Cancerians how important that is with family and the structure of home and security and so forth. So, this is where you're going to be focusing in October. Whether there's projects that you're wanting to be doing with the family or in the home or home related projects and so forth, this is where your energy or your soul is going to come into being and expressing itself. Now, it's in the sign of Libra. Libra is all about, love and romance and harmony and balance and so forth. So you're bringing all that extra love. I know you do it all year long, but this month you're bringing that extra it factor to the family or into your abode. And to just step it up even more so, we have the new moon. And the new moon here is October 16th. So mark that on your calendar. And what is really beautiful about this new moon, you know how we put our intentions every new moon? Those of you who followed me years prior know that the new moon is the time when we put forward our intentions, right? What it is we want to see that is going to take place, not just in the coming month, but the superpower of the new moons, actually. And if you haven't heard that before, it sets you up for the full next extent of the next 12 months. Now, if you want to change how your home life is, how your family life is, put that into your intentions on the 16th, but know that it can carry you through the extent of these next 12 months, right? So that's the power of the dynamics. If you want more of a harmonious lifestyle, if you want an improved, should I say, interaction with family members, that they can all join together now for meals and not be scattered and so forth, put that in your intentions. If you want a new home, hey, that's time to dream about it. Put that into your intentions as well, right? And do know that even if it doesn't happen or that you're not manifesting it within that first month of this new moon, hey, this is going to be working for you 12 months. Voila. All right. And then, since we are talking about the moons right now, I'd like to talk about the full moons. We got two this month, and that's rather rare, right? The first one, as we see here, that was the new moon. Um, the first full moon is October 1st. So if you're listening to this reading here on the September end, then you know what to look forward to on October 1st. 9 degrees in the sign of Aries. For you, that's up here in your 10th house. And we know that the full moons kind of brings harvest because it's had the power to kind of grow from the full moon, the intentions of last month, and now we can harvest it, right? But it's going to land in your 10th house for career. So for you, Cancer, this is going to be a great time for you to feel that there's action. Maybe something is finally going to surface for you. Maybe you'll get that raise. Maybe you'll get that promotion. Or maybe this is a time where you're going to have a review. And if that is the case, ooh, what a nice time, October 1st, to bring forward to your supervisor, your boss, or if you're your own boss, it's really time to express what it is you desire. This area up here of the 10th house is all about our goals that we have on the horizon. You know, what we're targeting, what we're foreseeing. This is why we work with the power of the new moon every single new moon so that we can start receiving. This is time of manifestation. Bring that home. All right. And what's extra nice about this full moon is that we also have Mars right there, 25 degrees in your 10th house of career. So it's been working there for a while. Now, what I do want to say about this Mars too is I didn't really put the little X around it, but Mars also is going to retrograde. It is retrograde and will be. And Mars normally takes 5 to 6 weeks to pass through a sign. And because of its retrograde that it's kicking into, it's giving 5 or 6 full months for you to work on this area of your chart, which is career. 10th house isn't just career. It's also those things that we desire or goals and aims that we climb for. So it's like focus on it. Recognize where the drive is coming from. So you don't scatter yourself. Don't let Mars scatter out, to the oppositions and the squares and all that. Focus, harness that Mars towards your ambitions, whether it is career, other goals, whatever it is. This is where you want to focus it because when you do, that is when it's going to amplify towards it. So you're going to have this for a long time, and that's the blessing of from the universe to you personally, because it takes 2 years for Mars to come back around to any specific point in our chart. So it's going to be another 2 years before you get this chance to hone in, develop, master, put forward, and achieve. It's time to achieve. Now, yes, this is like in opposition to the fourth house, the home. So you might feel like drawn in both directions as far as how much time do I spend at home with the kids, the family, they need me. And you are such a homebody, Cancer, we know that. But how much do I then dedicate towards where I want to head with my goals as a Cancerian? That is what it's all about. You might feel this little tug of war because of Mars spending so much time here, that you can feel that, but don't let it frustrate you. This is an opportunity, and we really want to take it and fly with it, right? Mars is also the ruler of Aries. So up here, it's like a double whammy. Let's put a little heart on that. Why? Because we get double energy from what we're trying to do. So that little heart, think about that when you're feeling stressed and kind of pulled between home and career, and say, this is my time to radiate and shine because it's my goal, it's my desire, and I got to make room for myself too without feeling selfish. Selfish only comes from the feeling of guilt, right? And as a Cancerian, of course, it's easy for you to feel that guilt because you are such a homebody. But hey, I see that they can be supportive of you if you just communicate really well. And speaking of communication, let's jump right down here to Mercury. We're heading into retrograde. Mercury retrograde will be from, as you see down here, October 14th through November 4th. Okay, so this is a time where we know, and I know you know, that we got to be a little careful what we communicate, how we communicate. Make sure whoever is listening to what you have to say, that they are listening, because maybe their Mercury is going to be off, right? This is where we can get miscommunications. And trust but verify, you could add into it. It's like, okay, so I heard you were saying, and repeat what they said so that you're making sure that you heard correctly what they're saying as well. And hopefully they can do that in return. Mercury is cruising through the sign of Scorpio down here. And Scorpio, is very deep. It's very sensitive. It's emotional. Um, when it's understood, it can be very healing. So if there's things from the past that needs to be healed, this is the time to do it, to revisit, because it's in the fifth house also of children. So maybe some of you might have some issues with some of your children, one or more of them, where it might be a great time to go through, to talk, to clarify if there's anything that needs to be clarified. If not, maybe they have issues that they want to come and bring to you, issues from the past. And I say it's past because it's retrograde. So there might have been a situation earlier this year that might now surface, but this is a great time to communicate and go deep with it. Okay. Scorpio is asking us to dig in, get into that core, right? Um, and let it just all come out, because that is where we can have these miraculous healings too. But before I leave this area, the fifth house is also self expression and creativity in that sense. So maybe some of you might find yourself just swimming back to that area of maybe something artistic, maybe some hobby or something that you were doing earlier and then you were cut short, maybe due to external circumstances. It could have just been time or whatnot, but where you might have felt that you weren't able to fulfill or complete. That retrograde can bring it back up to the surface and say, hey, I want to revisit that. I want to bring it back up again, or I want to continue on that project, right? And that is what retrogrades are good for. Um, Personally, I love retrogrades, right? It's just the only thing we need to be careful is not necessarily start new things. It's not really great. Any of the retrogrades start new projects, but to go back and bring up and continue to develop. And when we continue to develop certain things, then we're building layer upon layer and evolving, and expanding and growing. So sometimes the universe slows us down. And that is what retrograde is actually all about. It's slowing us down just enough so we can catch up with ourselves, our projects, and people from the past and circumstance, so that we can follow up, follow through, and then expand and grow to new levels. So don't fear. I know a lot of people fear the retrogrades, but when you start loving them, you are going to be able to harvest the best of it. So Mercury, let's go to now Venus, second house, Cancer. And second house, as you know, is all about money, right? And it's all about love and romance. It's those things that rule in under Venus. Now, it also is in the sign of Leo, and Leo carries a lot of pride and beauty and so forth. So right now, I can see how you in September, while Venus was moving through here, looking at your finances, kind of getting all your ducks in a row, right? Building or restructuring it, or a lot of money going out. Maybe you've been renewing your wardrobe, or using money on other things that give you joy and pride and so forth. And you have these first few days this week, in the beginning of October, as Venus is finalizing its journey here. It's 27 degrees October 1st, right? So we don't have a long time, but if there's those things that you're needing to do before it moves out of this area, well, do it now, early, even on the September end, if you're needing to, and you're listening to this. Once it moves into the third house, Venus is going to be focusing more on communication. So it's not going to be about money, right? So great time to build your finances here, if you're listening in September, and new things that you can, I'd like to say, beautify yourself with. Let's jump up to the next thing we want to check on, and it's your seventh house. You know, Cancerians, what relationships mean to you. It's a huge part of your life, right? Especially because you're so family oriented and so forth. But 2020 with COVID and everything, the lockdown, it's been tough for everybody. Now, all of this pent up energy, everything that has been shutting down, and where we all, in our own way, have been carrying some of this energy. For you, it's been in relationships, right? Um, Jupiter wants to expand everything. Now, Jupiter has been retrograde. It's direct now, thank God. Um, but Saturn and Pluto, too. Saturn's all about the foundation, the structure of the security of what has been important to you. Um, Pluto's all about death and transformation. These things, it's like you might see that there's certain areas in your relationship that has needed to be addressed, especially under the lockdown here of Saturn, and then feeling maybe that you've lost some control on what used to be important to you because it's shape shifting. Pluto is all about death and rebirth, right? And so when Saturn crashes, just look at society. This is a global aspect. That's why Jupiter is there too. We're all, wherever we're from, wherever you're listening to this from too, you'll see that your countries are undergoing structural changes, right? And politically and stuff. Um, that's the big picture of the transits itself. But for you personally, it's in this house. Now, at the end of this video, I have a separate video just talking about how this transformation is taking place. And I would urge you to listen to it so you can understand why things are so complicated right now. I'm not going to use all that time because we're talking about so many other transits here, but I would urge you to listen to it so that you can understand how to cope with what many people are seeing is depression and anxiety and loss of control. It's like, no, no, no. Yes, on some level, because the old structures are falling, the old norms are going. But we are all a part of building the new society, the new norms. And how can you be a part of it? How can you recognize which area you personally can be a part of restructuring the new norms? That's exciting, right? So listen to that video after this. And while I'm saying that, before we go on to the next aspects here, is how I always talked about listening to your moon sign and your rising sign. And why is that? Well, right now, what you're listening to is your solar sign, right? The reading, horoscope for Cancer now in October. When you look up the moon sign, if you know what it is, if you don't, you can go to astro.com, put it in, get your information, and you will find your moon sign. You will find your rising sign. And I say that because if you now go to your moon sign reading, well, that's going to tell you everything that I've been saying here to your solar sign. The moon sign reading will tell you where all your emotions are going in this coming month here in October. And it's just as potent as this solar reading that I'm giving you right now. When you listen to your moon sign, you will recognize it. Trust me, right? Because yes, it just gives you a different perspective on what you can come to experience emotionally. And then when you listen to your rising sign, that will show how you are going to take your energy out to the world in October and how the world will be receiving you. That's what the rising sign is all about. So it will show you all those activities that October can bring up for you that will really behoove you to listen to. So always your sun sign astrology, your moon sign, and your rising sign. And of course, if you're curious about your partner, hey, go listen to him and hers too. You will know and figure out what you can expect from them and also for them. Okay, moving right along. Saturn, we did speak about these three, Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter, and how your relationship, your focus on it, your perception, or also, Cancer, how your partner is perceiving you. You might feel that Saturn and Pluto's coming from them, the way they're looking at you, judging you, and or wanting things in the relationship to change. So it might just not be you bringing to them this sense of change, but how they might be coming to you and saying, we need to change this or that within our relationship so that we can renew it, right? Maybe what used to work. That's the past. But what about where are we heading? How can we now transform that passion of Pluto into our relationship so we can renew it and keep it crisp and loving and passionate for the coming years, right? So, super important, super important. Then let's talk about the moons. We got two full moons. If you look here at the chart, October 1st, I did say that we have that one coming in, and then we have October 31st. Now, these two full moons, we talked about October 1st, 10th house career, but it's so seldom that we get two full moons in one month. That second one is coming up here in your 11th house of hopes and dreams. Now, we know we talk about intentions so that we can create manifestation of our intentions. Well, this full moon is coming into the area of hopes and dreams, your social network, your groups of friends. And so this one is going to be a little exciting. October 31st, right here, it's conjunct coming up with Uranus. And Uranus is the exciting wild card. We never know what we're going to get. It's like a box of chocolate, right? So when it's good, it could be really, really good. It could be exciting. Maybe news coming from somebody in your circle of friends or your social network. It could be you exciting them with a surprise um, that they're not aware of. And so, whatever it is going to be for you, I feel this full moon on October 31st is going to be great. Okay. It's going to be surprising. It's going to be fun. It's in the sign of Taurus, which is all about, being ruled by Venus, is beauty too, right? Beauty, it's money, it's security. There could be news of some kind of security coming to you, maybe from a group. Maybe somebody's going to offer you something that you can work with, maybe in teamwork, that kind of thing. And if so, well, hey, you know, it's great. So, listen, this was really fun speaking to you. Let me just stop sharing here. It was really fun speaking to you again here this month, Cancer. I will see you again for the November reading. And like I said, please do go ahead and listen to this upcoming um, reading right now about Saturn, Pluto. It's so important. I know you've talked and listened to all these other astrologers, but this is my 2 cents worth of how you can live with it, how you can transform it, how you can bring the power of joy and beauty coming into your life by doing so. We got to look at the bright side of everything that happens. All right. So, listen, it was really beautiful to see you again, and I will see you next month, Cancer. So, have a good one. Bye now.